Hello, welcome to my channel once again. If you are a CISO, a risk manager, or just someone that works in the GRC department, then this video is definitely for you. The name of the tool I'll be introducing us to is CISO Assistant. And CISO, as you know, it means Chief Information Security Officer. So if you are a security officer, then this is a tool that would elevate your skill sets on how you can deliver your job functions. So I'll be sharing my screen. I'll be sharing my screen. Yeah, it's going to come up very soon. Okay, so I believe you should be able to see my screen now. As you can see, this is the tool. It's called CISO Assistant. There's a premium version. There's also a community version, but I'll be introducing us to the community version in this video. You can see that it's widely adopted. You can see 3.5 star. It has been fogged 585 times, which is a lot. So it basically, I mean, we are in the days whereby organizations are looking for ways not to pay human salary. If a computer can do the work of an individual, they would rather go for that individual. So this is an assistant. It helps you, gives you some kind of leverage around what you are doing. And you can see from the about section here, there is a one-stop shop GRC platform for risk management. So if you are doing anything around the risk, this is a tool that would come in handy. Application security, compliance and audit, TPRM, which is third party risk management, privacy and reporting. So if your job function is around any of these, then this video is for you. If you do stuff around the risk management, application security, compliance and audits, TPRM, supply management, privacy reporting, and if you also adopt any of these standards here from ISO 27001, NIST Cybersecurity Framework, SOC 2, CIS, PCI DSS, and the likes, then this is for you. You can see that we have over 100 global frameworks that um, have been successfully integrated into this tool. So it's a very robust platform that you shouldn't joke with and will definitely help you. So we are going to be seeing how we can get started with it. We are going to be installing it in an Azure virtual machine and we'll see how we go from there. So I'll be posting this link in the description of this video, and there's also a better documentation here as well. I'll be posting this link as well in the description so you can go through that. So let's go to our Azure. I want to create a virtual machine. Yeah, let me call it CISO Frankly Ayo, the name of our virtual machine. I do not need an availability zone so that because I'll delete it immediately after this video as soon as I'm done recording. Um Standard. Okay. Image. Ubuntu, the latest Ubuntu 24.04 is fine. This is good. So let me get um my key that I'll use to log in. I'll use to SSH. I'll use an existing one. Click this. I will open ports 80 and 443 because we are going to be installing an SSL certificate as well as part of the process. Yeah, so I would review and create. Oh, I should have under the disk, I would have changed it from premium to the standard. But I think it's fine. I will just since I'll be deleting it immediately, then it's not a problem. So I can create now. So we are provisioning the Ubuntu virtual machine now, where we are going to be installing our CISO Assistant software. As I said, if you are into risk, if you do stuff on ISO 27001, you do stuff on PCI DSS, any kind of standard, I mean, if it's covering about 100 plus global standard, the likelihood that the standard that you're interested in is part of that is quite high. Yeah, so we are going to be installing it in the Ubuntu VM, then we would be accessing it via our DNS label um or our public IP address. But I'll be adding a DNS label so that we can use a trusted certificate because if we are using the IP address, we will only be able to use a self-signed certificate. Okay, so this is completed. So let's go to resource. So our virtual machine is ready. Before we SSH into it, I want to create my FQDN label. So I'll click on this, the IP. Then under configuration, I will add the DNS label. So let me call it, let's use CISO frankly IO, CISO FA dot central us.cloudapp.azure.com. So we are good with this. Yeah. Okay, so let me copy the IP address as well. Oh, I haven't saved, so let me save this. CISO FA, that's the DNS name label. So I'm saving this. So while this is being saved, let's go to let's SSH into the server. So let me open my terminal. Let me open my Git bash. It's coming up. It's coming up. Then I'll stop sharing. Then I'll share my Git bash. Yeah, it's up now. So now let me stop sharing for a moment and share my Git bash. Okay, so I believe you can see my terminal now. So now, um, we have this, the key, I'm still using that, then the IP address. I'll be changing this and I'll be pasting the IP for the virtual machine that we just provisioned. So I think this is good. So let's go in. Okay, so now let me update. Yeah. So now we now want to install our CISO Assistant into our virtual machine. Okay. So I'll just be copying a couple of commands and I'll be pasting them into our terminal. I'll be installing it with Docker. So what I would do is um, I would be um, I'll just install Docker first. After the installation of Docker, then I'll use that Docker to install the CISO Assistant. So let's start with, we've updated, but let's also upgrade. Let's upgrade. Okay. So now we've upgraded. What we want to do now is to install Docker. And we'll be using Snap for it because apt is always outdated and I just find Snap quite better. Install Docker. Can also use apt. I mean, in the GitHub documentation, they used apt, but they first of all get the binary. They manually got the package before they added it to the installation parts. So let me just copy the commands because of time. I'll just be copying them. Next, we are going to be installing Python. We'll be installing Python. Yeah, so over here we're installing Python 3 and we're also installing our virtual environment. It should be small letter. When this is done, we'll be pulling the remote repository into our virtual machine. We'll be using Git for that. We'll be using the Git command. So let me paste this. So git clone, that's the URL. So now we've cloned the repository. So now we can cd into it because we've cloned it in our current paths. So I can also cd into config because we are using um, a remote server. I want to install it into a remote server. We are not working with it locally. So we can cd into config. Then we enter this command. We are using Python now. We want to set up a virtual environment. Um, and we'll be working from that virtual environment. Python 3, make virtual environment, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I think this is good. And want it to be an hidden directory. So now we need to activate the virtual environment. So we are doing that, and we put bin activate. Okay, so I think this is good. Next, we can now install the requirement by using pip install requirements.txt. Yeah, so this is being done. Yeah, so now we can we can use, we can run the Python file to make the configuration, all our setup, and we'll be able to follow the wizard that would make us quickly set up our environment. So now we can do Python make, this is the file, it's in our current path. Okay, so now you can see this, we have to choose if we are installing in a virtual machine or local. In our case, it's a virtual machine, so I use the arrow button to choose VM. So now they're asking us if the host internet facing can solve ACME challenge for TLS. And the answer is definitely yes, because um, our VM, our job VM can do that. Then if you're applying to host, so now they're asking for VM. So make sure to set this account, e.g. etc. host. Okay, so from this, we are now to enter the URL for the um yeah, so we are now to enter our DNS label, the one that we created previously. So I'll just copy it and I'll paste it here. I hope you can recall when we did CISFE.central US and the likes. So that's what we are doing here. So I'll just copy it, put it in a notepad first before I paste, just to be sure it's correct. Okay. So I'll paste it now, because I mean you can see it's asking for expected FQDN. So that's what we are using now. Okay, so let me remove the HTTP. I need just the domain name, because it won't, we are not even, it will not be resolving on HTTP, rather it will work with HTTPS. So we change this, by default it runs on port 8443, but in our case we want it to work with the default HTTPS port, which is port 443. Database to use, I'm using SQLite. I just find that way easier. Then Caddy, or what we use for our front end. Yeah, I think initially traffic was used, Traffic was used, but I prefer Caddy. Bunker Web is a little bit more technical to use. I find CAD a lot easier. Do you need email notification? No, I don't. I don't need that. Like to configure Kafka dispatcher, Kafka Booker. No, I just want this should be as simple as possible. Enable debug mode. No, but you can use yes, depends on your needs. So we have this now. We now have our URL where that we can use to access the application. Okay, so now that we have that set up, we can now continue with our configuration. We now need to run Docker compose the .sh file to be able to set a an email and a password, a super user email and a password. So I would use sudo / docker compose .sh, yes. Still in the same directory. We are not moving out from the config directory. So I run this. It will ask me for super user email and password, and I will just enter. I will simulate an email and a password. Yeah, so I hope all we've been doing so far, it has been very clear. Um, we are now um we are making use of Wizard to do the installation. If you like to do things in a difficult manner, you can definitely install it manually, but using the wizard makes the whole process a lot easier. I just might create another video on how you can do this installation, modify the YAML file, and make it work without SSL. In this case, we are forced to make use of SSL, but you can configure it in such a way that it will work without SSL. I might create that video, but that's not best practice. So we do best practice here. So we have to work with it with SSL certificates. So the setup is still running. It's still running. You can see, because we are using Docker, we've containerized the entire application has been containerized by the makers of CISO Assistant, which makes the entire process um, quite easy. And so it's pulling those containers now and it's trying to um, it's um, it's orchestrating the containers. So while this is going on, as I said earlier on, if you are into risk management, if you are into GRC, if you are working in the GRC department, anything governance, risk, or compliance, then this tool is something that you should explore. You should explore. You can see the back end is what is still pending. All other containers, the container card, container U, container front end are all done. So the back end is what is still pending. Let's just be patient. Let's just be patient. It will be done any moment from now. As soon as that gets done, we'll be able to log into our application. It's taking a while. I'm trying to recall the previous times I have done this application. Did it take this long? I don't know. It's taking quite some time. Yeah, okay, it's LD. So we can see now it's done. Waiting for the backend to be ready. Yeah, backend is ready. It's creating the super user that we supplied. Have I entered the email? Okay, no, not yet. So I will enter it next. Okay, so it's asking for email. I'll just simulate an email. Frankly, Ayo at gmail.com. For password, I'll just use an insecure password. Yeah. So you can see it says now that we can now access it either at localhost or the host port that we supplied. So now let's go back to our Azure and hopefully we'll be able to see this application working. So I've stopped sharing and now I'm sharing my browser again. Okay, so let me copy this again. It's been copied. Now I'll go open a new tab. I would make this URL, the URL for the GitHub page where you have all the documentation to use and also for this deployment documentation as well via Gitbook. So now this is the URL and we installed an SSL certificate using Let's Encrypt. So we can use HTTPS and we can visit this URL. Hopefully, we'll be able to log in. It will show us the login page and we have this. So I will enter the email I used. Yeah, so you can see welcome to CISO Assistant. We can load demo data if we want. Um we can see the analytics and how everything is. It covers a lot of standards, a lot of standards. So let's try to load demo data and see what we have. I hope I have enough space when I was setting up the virtual machine. Yeah, so this is going to take some time, and our video is getting quite long. But the point now is that we've been able to install CISO Assistant, and you can see the interface. Very interesting interface. We have it working, and okay, so we have the demo data folder successfully imported. So now you can see. Let's come back to overview and see the analytics again. You can see govern, recover, respond, detect, protect, identify, govern. You can scroll down and you can see all of this. If we should click on if you click on governance, we can see a breakdown of all of this. Risk, see a breakdown as well. It's a little bit slow. Yeah, you can see risk, compliance, we can see this, operations, we can see this as well. So the UI is great. I mean, everything about it is fantastic. So it's something that you should explore if you are interested in GRC or you work around GRC. I will create another video on how you can work with it without SSL. You have to do a lot of modification to the YAML file, the Docker Compose YAML file. That would be a little bit technical, but I might create another video or I might not. But I just want you to see the flow. So I hope you find this video interesting, educative, insightful. If you did, then please give it a like, subscribe, and um, um, click the bell to be notified when